Welcome to 843 TV. I'm your host, Will Wareham. I'm coming to you today from the Santa Elena History Center in downtown Beaufort, and I'll be joined by Dr. Andy Beall, who is the Executive Director of the Santa Elena Foundation, Dr. Chester DePratter, who is the lead archaeologist for the Santa Elena Foundation, and finally Megan Meyer, who is the Director of Development for the Santa Elena Foundation. So stick around for more 843 TV, where communities come to speak.
.843 TV, where Bluffton comes to speak.
Where Spring Island comes to speak.
Where Hilton Head Island comes to speak.
Where Beaufort comes to speak.
.843 TV,
where communities come to speak. Welcome to 843 TV. I'm now joined by Dr. Andy Beall, who is the Executive Director for the Santa Elena Foundation. Dr. Beall, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you. Appreciate being here.
Absolutely. So we're here in the Santa Elena History Center on Bay Street in downtown Beaufort, and it's a beautiful facility. The last time we shot one of these shows together, we were out at the Charles Fort site on Parris Island, talking about the evolution of the Santa Elena Foundation and some of the history. How have we made that gap just in a couple of short years? How has the experience been for you?
Wow, it's great to be here in this place because the last time we were together, we were actually out at the historic site on Parris Island. And now we're sitting in this incredible facility, which is the former federal courthouse, and we're actually in the federal courtroom that has now been transformed and is under construction to be the first inaugural exhibit. But when I think about where we are today and where we were then, my goodness, it's a blur. A lot of fun. You know, this foundation's only been around 2 years.
Right.
Organized by a number of civic leaders and scholars who had a great idea that this story should be told, needs to be told.
Right.
And boy, we've marched forward ever since then.
Yes.
So it's been a very fast-paced couple of years as we have consolidated on what story should be told.
Right.
Brought together the attention and interest of all the scholars that know this story and done this research. Then brought it to the community and began to engage people in the community. The most important of which, frankly, is the volunteers. We've had so many volunteers that have come forward and said, we're excited about this, we want to be a part of what's happening. And they have just made it possible. Then on top of that, we've had partner organizations, starting with University of South Carolina, Beaufort, which they allowed us to actually operate for probably the first 18 months because we met in their conference room, which was so wonderful to have a place that we could function. And then it just has been a constant march to where we're now physically operating with a building, regular hours. Right. It's just so exciting.
It is an exciting time for Beaufort and for Beaufort County and for South Carolina and for America, really. And there's still room for more partnerships and more volunteers, right? I mean,
no question, no question. The things that we have to do are enormous, and we're really excited about that. You mentioned, you know, this is a story that took place here, and the rebirth or telling of the story is occurring in Beaufort, but it's truly an international story.
Sure.
And we have a lot of help from Spain side, which has been tremendous help. In fact, this exhibit that we will open was originally developed by an arm of the Spanish government, by a cultural nonprofit organization owned by the Spanish government. And so to have the bones of this exhibit working with the Spaniards is just phenomenal. We also were invited to, just more about how international, we were invited to go to Washington and make a presentation at the World Bank, and then the next day to do a presentation sponsored by the Spanish Embassy, which was just very well received. So this story percolates and is spreading out from right here in Beaufort County.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to learn more about that story and some of the events that you're going to host here and around the area to kick off the 450th celebration of the Spanish arrival here just off of our coastline here, and that's an incredible thing to be a part of, isn't it?
It is. I mean, wow. I mean, when we began this story, began this work, one of the things that came up very quickly is that 2016 is the 450th commemoration of the arrival of Pedro Menendez de Avilés and establishing Santa Elena. So it's been a pacing item for us all along.
Right.
And now here we are in April, and it's upon us. So it's fun, it's exciting, it's crazy. And it's something that the public really should enjoy coming to see.
Absolutely. We're going to learn a little bit more about the history with Dr. Chester DePrater here coming up, and then about some of the events that y'all have planned. So Dr. Beall, thank you so much for all you've done here and for our community.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us today.
Appreciate it very much.
Stick around for another segment of 843 TV.